Hello and welcome, or welcome back to the Therapy by Craft podcast channel. My name is Eunice. I am the maker and host behind Therapy by Craft. Gosh, and I feel like it's been a lot of time. I don't know how long, but there's a lot for us to catch up on today, so I'm excited to get started. Oh man, yeah, I feel like a lot of time has passed, and at the same time, when I look at my finished objects, I'm like, I don't know if I have a lot, but that's okay. It's been kind of cloudy and gloomy, which is my favorite. We thought that we were done with cold weather here in SoCal, but there's still some cold weather. Like, we still had a few days where it was like the low 60s, so that was glorious. I still got to wear some of my knits, which is really great. Everyone at work was like, oh, can you believe this weather? Like, oh, where's the sun? I'm so ready for summer. And I'm like I was like so excited. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, I don't know what you guys have been up to, but I hope life has been treating you well. I hope allergies / hay fever hasn't been, too annoying for you. I know a lot of folks are kind of struggling with that, so, But let's just jump right to it because I have quite a bit to share. The first thing I'll talk about is what I am wearing. I am wearing my finished Resource Raglan. I'll come up so you can see. This is my finished Resource Raglan. It is the V-neck version, and it's a pattern by Opie, and it is, a little wrinkly here, but no, that's fine. It is a pattern by Opie that I tested for her, and I believe it's going to be released sometime this month. I talk about it quite a bit in my previous videos, so I won't go too deep into it right now, but I made mine with the V-neck modification, which is really cool because the V-neck is as you go, so I didn't have to go back and pick up stitches for it, which was really great. I also made the short-sleeved version with I-cord edging all the way around. Mine is made with Knitting for Olive Merino in Dusty Rose, which is this just beautiful like blush color. And I shared this before, but when I initially received all of my Knitting for Olive yarn, I was slightly disappointed because I didn't like how it felt in the ball. I expected it to be different somehow, but then I worked with it and I worked it up. Oh, and it's nice. So I'm very, very pleased with the top. I am thinking about sharing a little bit more on the differences and the similarities between this top and the Cumulus blouse, or the Cumulus tee by Petiteknit, because I feel like those two items in my wardrobe are the most similar to one another, but the construction was very different and the experience of knitting the two were very different. So I don't know if you guys would be interested in hearing more about that. But this, like some of the bigger differences is that this has, again, the I-cord worked in as you go, and the gauge is a little bit looser. So this is a 24 stitch gauge, whereas the other one I believe is like a 26 stitch gauge or a 28 stitch gauge. So that fabric is tighter, even though both use fingering weight. And because of that, I do think that this worked up a lot more quickly. So if you guys have been eyeing the Cumulus tee, but you see that a lot of people talk about how it can be kind of a drag or how it can take a really long time because it's like endless stockinette over and over and over again, then this might be a good alternative for you because it has a similar result, but without like literally fewer stitches involved. So yeah, that's an option for you. What else to say about this tee? Oh, I think it's going to be released, like I said, sometime in June, but I'm not sure exactly when. But if I do find out sometime between like me recording this and posting it on YouTube, I will let you know. I'll put it down in the description box. The next finished object I have for you, are these socks. I finally finished them. Ta-da! Not only did I finish them, but I've worn it quite a bit, which is why it looks a little bit tired. This is my Treasured Toes socks by Treasure Goddess, and it has like 2x1 ribbing and then stocking it on the foot. I made mine, I don't know if I made mine exactly to her description, but I made mine with 10 rounds of cuff, 60 rounds for the leg, heel flap and gusset, and then 50 rounds for the foot before decreasing the toes. I loved working on this, and I've been wearing these a lot because I think that it gives a great pop of color to my outfit, like at work and stuff. But I'm realizing that I think I want a longer leg. Like I want it to be like higher. So I'll show you later. I'm going to be making another pair of socks that I have already started the heel flap and gusset, but I might rip back to make the leg a little bit longer. I think, yeah, I feel like crew socks are coming back, and I just want it to sit a little bit higher on my leg. So yeah, but this is made with Malabrigo sock. Someone had asked me for the name of the yarn. I can't remember what it is, but it's like a very, very highly speckled yarn. Is it called Baco? I think that's about right. Baco? But whatever. It's lovely. And the contrast color, I think, is Big Red by Buku Yarns. It's in her sock, Super Sock, Sock Nova. Sorry, Amanda, I can't remember that it's in her sock fingering weight base. And I love her semi-tonals. It's, I don't know, I just think it's so beautiful. Oh, there it is. Look at that. It's such a great, like, bright pop of red. So, yeah, those are that's the yarn that I used for these socks. I think that I can't tell if it's wearing really well. Like I said, I've been wearing these socks a lot, so I'm not sure if it's normal for it to look as tired as it does. But you can definitely tell that there's a difference between the top of the foot and the bottom of the foot where I've been wearing it, especially like in the ball area. It just looks a little bit more tired. I also think it's like felting just a little bit, but also not that much. I don't know. I'm hoping that it'll just become more and more comfortable as I wear them. I think I shared with you guys before that this sock yarn, this Malabrigo sock yarn, for whatever reason has zero nylon content in it. It is 100% superwash merino wool. And because of that, I was a little nervous about how well it was going to wear. But I don't know, maybe it's doing okay. You can definitely see that it's like getting a little more puffy, or I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what are words. But it is different from like the more fresh stitches on the top of the foot. Yeah, I was told, I think some of you guys were saying that there is another sock yarn by Malabrigo. Is it called like the Super Sock? Or like, yeah, I don't know. But there's another Malabrigo sock base that does have nylon content. I think it's like 80-20, and it has the exact same colorways. So I'm very excited that maybe after I'm done using all of this sock yarn, I'll go ahead and look for the sock base that does have the nylon content in it for a little bit more durability because I am still so obsessed with these colors. I'll show you later another colorway in that, you know, speckled group of yarns that I purchased, and it's working up so beautifully that I want to get some more, maybe later, but we'll see. Oh yeah, these are my Treasure Toes socks, my Treasure Goddess, which is my second finished object. Ugh. And then my last finished object, which I'm really excited to share with you guys, is this one. Yay! Ta-da! This is my Viola Tee, which was a test for Sarah. I don't remember her last name, but I think her Instagram handle is noel.knits. And she is a new to me designer. She designs children's knits, and yeah, I saw the test call for this tee, and the scalloped edging is what sold me. Oh, that looks pretty bad because you can see my floats, but here. That's better. It's a little cleaner. But yes, it is a top-down Raglan children's tee in fingering weight, and it has this beautiful color work, like it gives a visual of scalloped edges, but it's not really a scalloped edge. It is color work with a folded hem, like a double hem on the bottom, and it's so cute. I love it. I made mine in the Cotton Cone by Woolyknit in the colorway cream for the cream, and I think it's mustard yellow. It's either, yeah, it's mustard yellow for the main color, and my daughter loves it. The day that I finished, so first of all, back up. I finished mine in a week, like 8 days. I cast it on the 22nd of May, and I was done by May 30th. Which is crazy and awesome because this is a fingering weight yarn. Like, this is a fingering weight project, but it worked up so quickly. I made the size 4 to 5 T to fit my almost 4-year-old. So Sarah recommended sizing up, and so I did, and it fits her really well. She loves it. I think she wore it 3 days in a row, and she was like, "Wow, Mom, Amma, that's so." Like, wow, I love it. It's so soft. And she was like, you know, all excited about it. I love the most about this tee the rate of increases for the sleeves and the body. I don't know if I've ever seen that rate before, and I won't give it away because it's a paid for pattern, but the way that she did the rates, it actually made for such a nice fit on my daughter. It is not a compound raglan, and what that means is, I think compound raglan refers to when it's a raglan, like this is a compound raglan, where there's a certain rate here, and then there's a quick increase so that you can kind of tuck under, like, or shape right underneath the armpit to get a nicer sleeve fit. That's a compound raglan, where there's 2 different rates of increases depending on where you are in the garment. This is not a compound raglan. It is the same rate of increase from like after the short row shaping all the way to the bottom, and it's really nice. This is the first time that I've done that, but it fits her really well. There isn't a lot of extra fabric on the bottom. Yeah, I just think it has a very nice silhouette. It results in a very nice silhouette at the end. It almost makes me want to try like this rate on a different tee for me, for my size, because yeah, it just has a really nice finish. It looks really elegant. Yeah, I don't know how else to put it. But that's one of my favorite things about this tee. The scalloped the scalloped color work edges is the most obvious eye-catching part of it, but ultimately for me, the thing that was so delightful about this pattern was the raglan increases. So if you're interested in what I'm talking about, you're just gonna have to buy the pattern when it releases. I think it's gonna release on June 14th. So depending on when it is that you're watching this video, it might already be out. What else? Oh, I will say that the color work was not my favorite. The end result was great, but maybe because I'm working with 100% cotton, it was just a nightmare. Like, honestly, I've done color work before. I'm not the best at it, but I'm also not, I don't know, like I can do it and enjoy it, right? It's not a drag, or it doesn't feel terrible for me each time I try to do color work. But because this was 100% cotton and felt really slippery, I don't know why I struggled so much with the color work on this. And it's not even that many rounds of color work. It's like maybe 2 or 3, no, not 2. Maybe like 3 or 4 rounds for the bottom and for each sleeve. That's it. But still, like the tension was way off. Catching my floats was weird. I mean, as you can see, some of my floats are peeking through and it doesn't look very good. You know? You see that? Yeah, it doesn't look the best. But it was worth it in the end. A suggestion that I would make is when you start doing the color work, or what I did, because my color work tends to get looser, or my tension during the color work section tends to get looser, which is the opposite of what most folks experience. Most people, when they do stranded color work, their tension will get tighter. But I'm the opposite. Maybe I knew that going in, so I overcompensated or something. I don't know. But my tension gets so loose when I do color work. So what I did was I dropped like 2 needle sizes to do the color work and to do my folded hem so that there wouldn't be any flaring. Now, to be fair, Sarah's samples as well as the other testers, they had mentioned that it did flare, but it blocked out nicely. So even without going down a couple of needle sizes, theirs seemed to be fine, where they did the folded hem and they blocked it out to dry and it laid out flat, no problem. I was maybe a little bit paranoid that it was going to do that. So I just preemptively went down a couple of needle sizes because I really did not want it to flare. And knowing my own tension, I was like, yeah, I really don't want it to flare. But that's what I did, and it worked out. The day that I finished it, my daughter wore it to the library, and 2 moms pulled me aside and was like, I love that shirt. I love that top. Where did you buy it? Where can I buy one for my daughter? And I had the privilege of letting them know that I made it, and their jaws just dropped. They're like, what? You made that? And then they immediately said, do you have an Etsy shop? Like, can we buy one from you? And I was like, no, but thank you. If you learn how to knit, you can make one for your kid. But it was such a high compliment. I loved it so much. Let's see. Oh, if I were to make this again, and I do think I'm going to make this again, but maybe not do the scalloped, maybe do something else. This is a great basic tee pattern, I think. So I definitely plan to make another shirt for Samantha, maybe with the folded hem, but not with the scalloped edges. I would change just one thing, and that is the collar. Sarah has you pick up 1 stitch for every, so you cast on, you do the top, and then you go back and you pick up for the neckline. I think maybe I picked up at a different rate, or maybe because it's cotton, but it flares out a little bit, and you can see that the collar isn't sitting very flat. When she wears it, it seems to be fine, but when it's like this, it doesn't lay flat and it kind of curls out. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's my tension from my Italian bind off. I don't know. But that's the one thing I don't like. And it might not be a pattern issue. It might just be a Eunice issue. But that's one thing I would definitely fix if I were to go back and do this again. But yeah, I think that's it. Do you guys have any questions? I think I just about covered everything. But I highly recommend this. I really, really do. I didn't do the full length for the 4 to 5T size because it was just going to be too long, but I just shortened it by maybe an inch or two, and yeah, all of this took 80 grams total, 80 grams total, and it's a wonderful pattern. I think Sarah designed it so that you can use a sock set to make the tee, which is so brilliant. I just love that. Yeah, so if you have a sock set lying around and you're sick of making socks, you can make your kid or a kid in your life a tee. I think even the biggest size, it would still be 100 grams for the body and then 20 grams for the hems. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Okay, that's it for my finished objects, I think. If there's more, I'll just share it next time. But yeah, I think that's it for finished objects. Let's talk about my whips. So the first thing I will talk about, what is it? Oh, is another test that I need to finish up this week because it is due this week and I am so close to being done, but I'm not done yet. I was tempted actually to just finish it before filming this episode, but there was just no way I was going to be able to. And there was no other time that I was going to have to film. So I just thought, whatever. I'll just show you guys where I'm at. And it's my air tee. It's my air tee test for Ozetta. Let's see here. Da-da-da-da! Yay, it's so close to being done. I think I have 1 or 2 inches left. Maybe just even 1. And the I-cord bind off. And I'm just going to steam block it because I don't have time to wet block it. But I will wet block it. But I'm going to steam block first, take some finished objects photos so that I can meet the deadline. And then I will do a fully submerged wet block because I am making mine in Buku Yarn's Chic Fingering Base. It is an 80% superwash merino, 20% silk base. And it's so luscious. Oh, it's so good. It is in the colorway Desert. And I think it's one of my favorite colorways from Amanda. It's this like taupey. Is that even focusing? I don't think it is. Here, maybe this will focus a little better. There, it's like a taupey, semi-solid. There's some browns in here. The sheen is unreal. Like, do you see how reflective that is? Yeah, there's a sheen on this yarn from that silk content, which makes it so, it looks so luxurious, and it's cool to the touch. Oh, it's not focusing on my face now. There. And it's cool to the touch, so I think it's going to be a wonderful garment to have in the summertime. And what I'm so pleased with, and I don't know if I should credit Amanda or if I can take a little bit of credit, but it's not pulling in a weird way. It is definitely a semi-solid, but I love how the colors are like coming out. I didn't alternate skeins every round, or alternate skeins every round. I did not. I don't have time for that. It's annoying to me. That's the one thing about hand-dyed yarns that I hate doing. I hate alternating skeins. But I understand that it's a necessity because otherwise you're going to get this like weird color blocking thing that happens, and I don't want that. I know for sure I don't want that. And I don't want that more than I don't want to alternate skeins. But what I do is I do like a semi-fade where I work with 1 ball of yarn, and then right when I have about maybe 10 grams left of the ball of yarn that I'm working on, I'll introduce the second ball of yarn and do like I'll do a fade. So I'll do 1 round of the old ball, then another round of the new ball, then 2 rounds of the old ball, then 1 round of the new, and then I'll do that until I can do like 2 rounds of the new ball and then 1 round of the old until it all runs out. Did that make sense? But yes, that's what I'll do. And so what it does is it leaves about an inch or so of, like, I only have to alternate skeins for about like an inch or two. Yeah, so this portion here is where I did that, but you can't tell, like right between here and here is where I did that, but you can't really tell, right? It's pretty, it looks pretty seamless because I did it like a fade. And that's my favorite way to do it, because otherwise, if I'm having to switch balls or if I'm having to change yarns every row, yeah, that's just a night. Like, I don't want to do that. So I don't. But I think the way that Amanda dyed the yarn though, I have a feeling that even if I didn't alternate yarns, it still would have been okay. And that truly is a mark of a great yarn dyer. I think even if I didn't alternate skeins, it would have been fine. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy with how it looks. So if you are unfamiliar with the Air Tee, the eye-catching design feature of this tee is this back panel. Is it a panel? This back block right here that goes all the way across the back. And it makes it so that it's very minimalist, but still there is a feature that's very eye-catching and a detail that, you know, draws your attention. And I think that's pretty, that's like Hailey's MO. That's Ozetta's style, I think. That it's very minimalistic, but there's one thing about it that's very eye-catching and that draws you in. It's just enough detail to make it not basic. It's just enough to make it classy, but still minimalist. She like balances, she like tiptoes that line so well. I'm like having a moment right now of appreciation for Hailey and her designs. But the Air Tee is no different. And like I said, I have just a couple of more inches left to go and it'll be ready to be bound off. I have nothing but wonderful things to say about this pattern. There are some parts of the pattern that is a little bit tricky. I think us as the testers pointed out to Hailey that more visuals would be helpful, and so Hailey got on that right away. And the newest version that I received as an update, I think is going to be, you know, really good. I would say that this is a good design for, or a good pattern for adventurous beginners. There are some things that you need to know how to do that maybe you've never done before, but I still think that that would be a really fun thing to learn how to do. It is a drop shoulder construction, so top down, drop shoulder, and no ribbing. So if you hate ribbing, you don't have to worry about that. There's a rolled hem for the neck collar with more I-cord edges. Yeah, I'm really excited for this to be done. But the next time I talk to you guys, I definitely will be done with this. Yep, my first finished object. My second, oh no, not finished object, work in progress. That's my first work in progress. My second work in progress is a birthday dress for my daughter. My daughter is turning 4 in a couple months, and she's been really into dresses, and she's been asking for, and I quote, a long dress that goes down to my feet. That's what she wants. She wants a dress that goes all the way down to her feet, and I immediately thought of the birthday dresses that I think it's Iochi makes. That's the handle on Instagram, and I will post a picture of her most recent birthday dress that she made for her 3-year-old. And I love it. I love it so much. She makes these rompers and she does these duplicate stitches to make them into art, and I am floored each time she shares what she makes. And I was inspired and I thought, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make that for Samantha. And I am using another one of those really highly speckled Malabrigo sock yarns. I don't remember the name of this, but I will write it down below. But this is a yarn that Sam went into my yarn shelf and she saw this and she pulled it out and was like, wow. Like she was like, I love this. This is so beautiful. And she was, you know, caressing it to her face, and I was like, okay, I will use this one for her. This will be for her. So, okay. I need to show you what it is that I did. Ta-da! Do you see the vision? Do you see the vision? So, I mean, I don't know if this is what she did. Oh, and I need, what is her name? It's Iochi. Iochi Makes. Give me a minute. Let me look it up. Her name is Yoanna. Yoanna from Iochi Makes. Okay. I think what Yoanna did, and I don't know if this is the case, but I think this is what she did. I think she used one of the romper patterns by Petiteknit, either the little sister or the little brother romper pattern. And she just did the top portion of it. And then she picked up the stitches for the bottom portion of it and just did like a long dress. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know what gauge. I don't know if it's the little sister romper or the big brother, or the little sister romper or the little brother romper. I think the only difference between the two is the gauges. One is Aran weight and one is fingering weight. I don't know which one Yoanna used, but I am going to tell you that I use the fingering weight version because my baby is a summer baby, and the day that she wants to wear this is her birthday, and there's no way she's going to be wearing an Aran weight dress, wool dress. I am going to make it go all the way down to her feet. I actually took measurements from her the other day, which was really fun to do. I said, like, it's a measurement time, and I like measured her crown. I measured her, like, different parts of her body just to make sure that when I make clothes for her, I have the most updated measurements. And that was fine. I found that even though the little sister romper pattern only goes up to 24 months, I can use the largest size, adjust the gauge a little bit, and have it fit her with 0 ease, so no positive ease. And I'm hoping that what that'll do, it'll allow her to wear the top portion kind of snug to her body, and then the bottom portion sort of billow out. I have a vision. I have a vision, you guys, and I don't know if it's gonna work out, but I'm hoping that it will. I think I can picture, I can picture it in my head. I think it's gonna work. Like Yoanna's birthday dress, I'm going to duplicate stitch here. I'm going to use this section here as a canvas to duplicate stitch something. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm tempted to just do 4 candles like she did, like the little candles that she did. I think it'll be so, so cute. But I'm not married to that idea. I might do something else. I don't know. We shall see. But look at how the speckles are working up. It looks like confetti. It looks like confetti. It looks like funfetti cake. Like funfetti cake batter with like sprinkles, like rainbow sprinkles. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. This is the reason why I think I was a little behind on my air tea test, because I couldn't put this down. My husband is vacuuming. Can you hear it? I think he's vacuuming. Oh well, that's okay. Yeah, so this is my second work in progress. I have about a month to finish this, and I think that'll be fine, but I'm so excited to be done with this. So I did a little try on with Samantha, and she's already asking me, when is the dress going to be done? Is my dress ready? It's taking too long. Yeah, it does. It does take a long time, child, because it's handmade. And I think it'll be good for her to realize the things that Amma makes her, Amma is Korean for mom, the things that Amma makes her, it takes a while. So appreciate it and take good care of it. But anyway, that's my second work in progress. My third work in progress is this. It's actually crochet. Ta-da! It is a spring granny go-round by Claudine at the Iron Lamb. And I'm not even going to pretend. I am totally influenced by Sarah of It Is a Sarah podcast. She is delightful, by the way. If you haven't checked out her podcast, please do. Oh, she is so fun. Like, I feel like we could be friends. I don't know. I'm saying I don't know, not because I don't want to be friends with her, but because I wonder if she'll want to be friends with me. But she's delightful. She's such a joy to watch. And the best part is that she podcasts twice a week. So you're never in want of episodes. Or if you are, you just have to wait a couple of days because then she'll upload one in a few days. But anyway, she is also a knitter and crocheter. And recently she has been sharing about her journey through Claudine's lowrider jumper. I did not purchase the lowrider, but I had tested the spring granny go-round pattern for Claudine like a year or two ago. And I forgot that I had that pattern. And I thought, oh shoot, I have one of hers already and it's a great pattern. I should just pull that one up and work on that. And so the only thing is that I wanted a fingering weight version. I think Sarah mentioned that she also wants a fingering weight version, but she's just doubling it. She's doing a DK version in order to meet the gauge of the pattern that she received. I couldn't wait for a fingering weight version to come out, so I tried to do some math. As you guys know, I have a hard time counting, let alone doing like arithmetic. So I did the math. So basically what I did was I made a swatch. And based on my swatch, I learned that for 4 inches, I had 7 granny clusters, whereas the pattern calls for 5 granny clusters. So how did I do the math? What was the formula that I used? So what I did was I got the total give me a minute. Hold on. I took the number of inches that I want my garment to be at the end. I divided it by 4, which is the number of inches, like of increments, like that's what we do gauge, right? We mostly do gauge in 4-inch increments. So I took the total number, the total circumference number, I divided it by 4, then I multiplied it by 7 because I have 7 granny clusters per 4 inch. And whatever that number was, I looked at the portion of the pattern where it talked about number of clusters needed for the body. And I looked for the one that was closest to the number I got. Did you follow? I hope you did. So let's use some numbers. I'll give an example. Let's say I want my finished garment to be 40 inches all the way around. I divided 40 by 4, which is the number of inches in a gauge swatch, right? So that number is 10. I multiplied the number 10 by how many granny clusters I had, which was 7, and I ended up with the number 70. So basically what that means is that I need to have 70 granny clusters around my body in order to have 40 inches, right? Which is the ultimate, like that's what I want in the end. I want my garment to be 40 inches all the way around. So I went to the pattern, I looked at the portion where it says, you know, for the body, you should have this many clusters. And I looked for the number, I looked for the size that was closest to the 70. For me, and by the way, I'm making up numbers right now. I'm just using it as an illustration. But what is true is that I learned that if I do the second to the largest size, so not the very largest size, but the second to the largest size, it'll get me the circumference that I need for my gauge. Oh, did you follow all of that? I feel like I was holding my breath the entire time. I hope the experience of hearing me talk about that was not so stressful. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm following the directions for the second largest size. And this is what I have so far. I'm a little bit worried because I think the rate, what I did not take into consideration is the rate of increases here, like the Raglan increases. And I'm wondering if it's happening too fast. So I had put out a poll on my Instagram, like, do I keep going? Do I rip it out? And what I decided to do was just keep going. I'm just going to trust the process and keep going. And some of the people, and most of the people were saying to do that. And the rationale that the kind people who took the time to comment and to like actually send me a message, what they were saying is, look, Eunice, at the end of it, the garment is going to pull down a little bit. The weight of the garment is going to bring the garment down, and the drape is going to, like, naturally, because of gravity, get pulled down. So even if you feel right now like the Raglan increases are pulling too horizontally out this way, once you're done and you block it, it's gonna naturally drape. So I'm gonna trust that and keep going, and let's see how it goes. I'll continue to take some notes. I don't think I'm taking very good notes at the moment, but hopefully I can remember everything that I did, and I'll let you guys know like the modifications I make and stuff. The yarn that I'm using is another Woolyknit cotton cone. It is in the colorway navy blue, and I like it. I'm really liking this cotton yarn. I'm glad that I participated in the summer cone along thing, because I struggle, and for those of you guys who have been around for a while, I really struggle with summer yarns, and especially cotton yarns, because I was thinking that it hurt my wrists and stuff. But since I started using metal needles, it's been a lot easier to work with, and I think the fingering weight has also helped a lot because there's not a lot of like tugging happening since the weight of the yarn is thinner. And especially with crochet, I'm feeling like, oh, there's no fatigue at all. So I love the drape. Again, it feels really cool to the touch. I think it's going to be a great summer garment. I'll keep you guys posted. Oh, yeah, this is what it looks like so far. Yay! Yeah. And yes, my head, like, it does fit over my head. You want to see? See? Ta-da! Okay. And then, last but not least, I have kind of a knit along going with a friend of mine, Samantha from A Needle and Yarn Co. She and I have made things together. We made, so we found I don't know if it officially is like a yearly thing, but last year I think we did the Cumulus tee and the Sill slipover, or some kind of slipover. But this year we are challenging one another to finish the Azor sweater, and I am a little bit behind, but we do have a timeline. But I'm using more Woolyknit cones. This time I'm using the Merino cones. This one is called Pino Green, and this one is called Mulhacen? I don't know, I'm butchering that. But it's a beautiful, like, oatmeal-y color. And these are the colors that I'm using for my Azor sweater. And the green is going to be the main color, with the neutral being the accent color. This is how far I've gotten. In other words, not that far. But I like working with the yarn, I can tell you that. Yeah, there's not much to say about it except that We are hoping to finish by September. If you guys want to, you're welcome to join along. We don't have a hashtag or anything like that. It's super informal and it's just me and her. But I don't know what she would say if you were to ask her. But for me, I think it's just nice to have a buddy knit something alongside you because one, accountability, but two, because the assumption, right, is that both of you want to knit this thing and both of you are excited about this thing and you can cheer each other on, or if you run into a problem, you have somebody that you can talk to about, you know, the process, blah, blah, blah. And the Azor sweater is a beautiful one that I've wanted to make for a while. And same with Samantha. I think Sam really wanted to make one for a while as well. Or I think she maybe has. I think she made one for her husband. But she wanted to make one for herself. And we were like, yeah, well, let's just do it together. And she actually was the one to pull the trigger. She was like, we should do it. And we should do it this year. Let's please cast on. I said, okay. I was dragging my feet a little bit. But once these yarns came through, I was like, yeah, let's do it. So this is kind of slow going at the moment, mostly because I had that test. And also because I'm so excited about my daughter's like birthday dress. But I'm hoping to pick up a little bit more steam on my Azor sweater, and yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. That's my one non-summer garment whip that I've got going on right now. I have some others that are in hibernation, but that's my only active one that's like in woolly wool, so we'll see. But yeah, I think that's everything. Now that I've like said it out there, I feel like it's not that much. It's actually not that bad at all. But anywho, wherever you are as you're watching this, I hope you're having a good day and really that the week in life has been treating you with some kindness. And if not, I hope that you are treating yourself with some kindness. And yeah, I hope you have some time, some moments of peace, some moments of joy as you engage in your craft. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!